Welcome. So Shareholders Committee for Dorset. I guess I can probably say Happy New Year. Probably the very last time I'll ever sit like that. This year anyway. So usual rules apply. Introduce yourself if you speak on the first time on an agenda item, especially if we don't know you. So we welcome Felix, who's I think it's your first time. We've got Tony in the background taking notes. And we're missing Ben Wilson, so we've gone into apologies already, and he hasn't sent any. So he's not here. There you go. So we'll call it. I've got 4 bit numbers here. So the minutes of the last meeting, which was held on, I've got my glasses on, 6th of October. Seems like a very long time ago. They're in the pack. Any matters of accuracy? Please. Okay. I'll sign them later. Item 3, any declarations or interests? Raise. Yep. Item 4, there's no public participation. Item 5, there's no questions from councillors. Item 6, the forward plan, that's in the document back as well. There's a bit more meat on the next agenda, I could see, I think. But today is just the usual stuff. So we're on rapidly to item 7. So Sam is presenting this.
Yeah, lovely.
Daughter Council report.
Thank you, Chair. So Sam Paul, Corporate Director of Commissioning and Improvement. So the report in front of you really just provides an update on some of the recent developments from the council side that are relevant to Care Dorset, particularly over the last few months since the last report in October. Not after any decisions today from today's report, but really for the committee just to note the progress that's contained within. I will take the report as read, but maybe helpfully just to pick out a couple of things from the report just to help bring it to life for the committee today. So if I start on day services, so you'll be aware from the previous report that work is continuing to develop a new model of day opportunities in Dorset, which will have direct implications for Care Dorset as a provider. There was an extensive consultation which took place that generated hundreds of responses and some local petitions as well. We've now gathered all of that feedback and have published the findings and report from that consultation on the website. So some of the key messages coming from that particularly were people wanted more flexibility, they wanted more choice, they wanted more local provision, and they also wanted more community-based options available to them. So commissioners have been working very closely with Care Dorset, engaging very closely with Care Dorset as that has been developing, and reports will come forward to the People and Health Overview Committee and Health and Wellbeing Board in February, and then on to Cabinet in March for a decision. Just moving through the report, really on to extra care housing. So hopefully the committee will be familiar with the St Martin's extra care housing scheme in Gillingham, which is a 55 apartment extra care scheme that opened the back end of 2024. So Care Dorset are the support provider in there and are really providing some high quality care within that. So feedback from commissioners has been very positive about the care within that extra care setting and some of the outcomes that have been achieved. I guess pleasingly, the occupancy at St Martin's now is really increasing. We're currently at around 90% full, and we are expecting that to be fully occupied early parts of this year. I think what we are confident though as commissioners, we are seeing the right level of need being supported within that extra care scheme, and that's really partly in avoiding care home placements where that's not required. So where we haven't had extra care previously, typically historically people go into a care home, but we're not seeing that with the intervention with extra care, and that's been really supportive, as well as looking to maximise people's independence within that. Probably a couple other bits just to pick out. So reablement centres, so progress is continuing on the redevelopment of Sydney Gale House in Bridport for a new 56 bedded reablement centre. Care Dorset have been engaged in the latter stages of the design work within that, really offering some operational insight and intelligence to make sure that design therefore works in practice operationally once the centre is open. And the current timeline assumes that the centre will open in early 2028. Probably the last bit really, Care Dorset on the system-wide transformation piece and through the Future Care programme. So Care Dorset have been working really well with commissioners and the Future Care programme team around supporting the effectiveness of its reablement beds at Castleman Plus, and have been really responsive to some of that work and the improvements that have been in place. And I think the data doesn't lie, so we've seen a reduction in the length of stay for people in those beds, which is really positive. So that flow through is much greater, and we've also seen an increase in those who have been discharged and then successfully returned home as well. So really supporting that independence and recovery journey. And commissioners have been really supportive of how Care Dorset have reacted and put in place some of those different interventions that have helped support that recovery. I think within that, though, some lessons learned from some of the early stages of those beds that have been taken forward, and I'm sure Chris and Caroline may touch on some of that in their report. And then just quite excitingly, we've got a summit planned for early February, which I think we're looking forward to with Care Dorset. So that's on the 4th of February. We've got a date in now, which we can have in October. And I think we're looking forward to a positive session with Care Dorset colleagues. So I think that's all from the report today, Chair. Not asking for any decisions, but happy to take any questions.
Thank you. I've got a couple, but let anybody else kick off first. And welcome, Ben. You're online. Can you hear us? Yeah.
Hi, I can hear you. Yeah.
I did a little bit this morning. I was with Councillor Sutton at a Birth to Settled Adulthood board meeting, which is a really positive partnership between adult social care and the NHS to provide services for young people from birth to settled adulthood. And Care Dorset, I recently was able to visit one of the sites on Dorchester Road, which was phenomenally positive and interesting, and now it's got a pool table, I understand. But we were able to hear of all the positive things that are going on in young people's lives. And one of the things that we need to that I always do when I see these reports is I think about, yes, this is the report, but how does it affect people's lives? And to hear of people who were completely insular and completely isolated within themselves, now participating as part of groups, now getting involved with their communities, now getting involved with jobs even, is such a positive step to take that, and so they were very complimentary to the work that Care Dorset is doing there, and looking forward to engaging further on new projects as well, because it benefits people. It's not just delivering services.
Can I just come in on the St Martin's scheme at Gillingham? I know it's always a problem when you get a large facility like this. Sorry, I forgot to introduce myself. I'm Jill Taylor, Cabinet Member for Housing and Health. I know it's always a problem when you've got a scheme the size of this with 55 apartments to find enough people to fill it. But I'm just wondering whether we could be slightly more flexible on the age of people coming in when we start filling these units up. I'm not thinking of putting 20-year-olds, but there must be an awful lot of probably 40-plus-year-olds who could benefit.
It does say the age has been reduced, but it doesn't say.
Yeah, but it had to go back through planning, didn't it, to do that, to allow for more people to come in. And I just wonder whether we could do that slightly earlier, so we develop more of a mixed scheme there when we go forward, because there will be other ones like this.
Yeah.
Should I respond to that? Jonathan Price, Adults, Health and Housing. So this was our first site, and it was part of the planning permission agreement. But moving forward, all of the extra care will have that removed, so it will be for different age groups. So it's part of the housing strategy for extra care moving. So if Care Dorset are delivering that, that would certainly be the case.
Okay, thank you.
Anybody else? I was going to ask that question about reablement. Why was the planning condition in the first place? Was there?
It was for 55s, wasn't it?
It was sort of, at that point, it was pre the extra care strategy, so we hadn't back down as a age. The planning with that condition in place.
No particular reason.
Years in the making, I think, is the answer.
And what else do I have? So there's no mention of the DCH site. Is that now dead? Is that completely off the table? Or?
For the reablement site, yes. At the moment, it's still an option. We're still talking with health colleagues and POPCO about different options. auctions, but the shift has been to the reopenment centre site in Bridport, where the money invested.
I've got two other questions. Supported living in Weymouth? Because you opened something last week, but that wasn't Weymouth, was it?
Yep, Blandford.
That's a similar thing, is it? Or?
It's a similar thing. Another group, I think it's another 3 young people that's being discussed at the moment.
Weymouth,
Yeah. Weymouth, yes.
So that is happening and will open.
Yeah,
Yeah,
pictures
yes.
of that, showing pictures later.
It seems very hush hush, but asking more questions. And the other one is the final one, NHS risk. So ICB reorganisation, clustering. Do you expect it to impact on Dorset?
Difficult question on many levels. I think from the sort of joint commissioning that's in place in the BCF, there has been some change in line with the future care programme. We've probably transacted that now, so there won't be further change, but there may be opportunities. So part of the future care programme is looking at how, as a system, we use the resource in the Better Care Fund, and as that transformation happens, there are lines of funding that might open up opportunities for other services. So I think, you know, the rest of the market as well, but Care Dorset is certainly in that joint health and social care space.
Opportunities as well as challenges.
Yeah.
I think some of the issues about continuing the healthcare CHC transfers remains an issue with the NHS, but that's always been the case. It's just more so now. But again, as John says, the opportunities are there as well. And so we're going to be actively exploring that rather than just getting into arguments.
Okay, in which case, we're all happy we can note the report. Do we? No. So noted. Thank you very much. So item 8 is Care Dorset update. So Caroline, you doing it?
Thank you very much, Chair. As usual, I'll just say a couple of things and then, sorry, I'm Caroline Tapster, Chair of Care Dorset. I'll just say a couple of things and then hand over to Chris. First of all, I'd like to formally introduce Dr. Felix Davis, who I know has been around the table talking to you all, who is our newest non-executive director. He joined the board of Care Dorset in August and is going to be strengthening our clinical governance board level, which I know is something that we've talked about at this meeting on a number of occasions. That's really good news. Over 25 years working in leadership roles in the NHS, charitable sector and private sector, so brings a wealth of experience and is also currently a non-executive director in an NHS trust. So I think is going to be an extremely useful addition to the team. And then, of course, we have a leaver as well. Andrew Mullaney's left the council. As you know, he's going to be moving to Redbridge. Andrew's been a non-executive director with us since the beginning of Care Dorset. He was there at transfer and has been with us ever since. And I just want to put on record our thanks to him. I think that's an important thing to do, that he's brought, again, huge wealth of experience, both as housing director, but also as a very experienced non-executive director. And his insights into the working of Dorset Council have always been extremely valuable as well to us. So he's been an excellent Ned and we will miss him, but of course wish him well in his future at Redbridge. So I just wanted to say that, say a big thank you to him and hand over to Chris.
I'm Chris Mess, Managing Director of Care Dorset. Take the paper as read just to point the committee to a few matters within the paper. Average occupancy for 3 months ending November when the report was published, 93%, which has been a 2% increase from the previously reported position. And put the reopenment beds this afternoon. In relation to day opportunities, as Sam was indicating there, we've continued to work in close partnership with Dorset Council as they progress the outcomes of their opportunity consultation. And we have a transformation programme that will be commencing very shortly in supplement to that. Community re-ablement continues to deliver a significant number of hours with good outcomes for individuals. Over half of the individuals within the period in question have been fully re-abled, with a further 20% having no increase from their original package. As was mentioned in relation to supported living, we're delighted to be working with colleagues across the council on a second transition service for younger adults. We expect that to be ready in spring 2026, with the same model that exists at Dorchester Road being used there as well. In relation to workforce performance, our colleague turnover is at 15%, which is 10% lower than sector averages. So we're pleased to see that we are retaining our valued colleagues across all of our service lines. And sickness is close to our set target for this year as well. In relation to training and development, just to highlight that, as mentioned last time, we now do have our dedicated academy that we soft launched at the back end of last year, called Care Path Academy. We've been talking to partners, including the Health Sciences University, about ways in which we can work collaboratively together, and further work will be in our business plan for 26-27. There was an outstanding action in the minutes and discussions from our previous meeting in relation to our financial position, and I've set that out at paragraph 2.4. So we do expect at least a break-even position with the potential for a modest surplus, which we will be managing closely over the final quarter of this financial year. Progress has continued in relation to the delivery of the business plan for this year, with good level of delivery across those areas. I won't take each one, as I say, set out there. We are on target to deliver our target in relation to self-funder revenue in our residential homes. And as John was just raising there in relation to Customer Plus and Sam, we're pleased to have retained the 12 beds. We now have our own occupational therapist who's working to support the journey of individuals who are at Customer Plus. And in addition to the therapy suite that we've got now at Customer Plus, we also have a wellbeing suite there as well. So we're able to offer other supplementary services such as podiatry going forward too. And just again on the Dorchester Road side, we were nominated for an award for the activity that's happened there. Unfortunately, we weren't successful in the final, but I think recognition nonetheless for the nominated for that award. So they were the points I wanted to just make mention of for the committee. Happy to take questions.
Question? Jill, go on, you the first one.
Jill Taylor, Cabinet Member for Housing and Health. It's just a quick one on where you're talking about your annual business plan update. In 5.1, you're talking about transforming to a hub and spoke model of day opportunities. I'm just wondering whether there's capacity within that, or whether you've thought within that of looking at reviewing how you're marketing these. Time and time again, I hear from older people, I don't want to go there, it's a day centre. And then when you've dragged them in kicking and screaming and you've shoved them through the door for about 3 or 4 weeks, they're going, so which day am I going? And I think, you know, there's a lot of opportunities there, but it's getting people through your doors and changing the name from a day centre and this old-fashioned approach to it. I don't know whether any thoughts being given to that, or basically it fits within your business case.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you for the question. So there are a number of activities and tasks in relation to this. The first of which, of course, is that we have been waiting for the outcome of the consultation to be clear, kind of the direction of travel. Now that that is emerging as being clearer, we are developing a sort of set of products and services that so we're much clearer about what we can offer in and out of buildings. We've got a new website in development that will be coming online at the end of March. That will be much more prominent around opportunities that we've got into daytime. Daytime is a bit of a misnomer, but outreach opportunities as well. Both and print and online marketing materials too, as well as working with community partners, GP practices, other outreach, so that individuals who are in that space can signpost to us as well. So my colleagues in Care Dorset are equally eager to promote the opportunities that we've got in that space, and there is a significant amount of scope there to improve through the activity we've set out. So yeah,
that is brilliant. Thank you very much.
Yes, Steve. Ben online.
Hi, Ben Wilson, portfolio holder for transformation. Apologies, my camera's off because my internet is horrible today. It's not a question, it's just a thanks for providing the updated financial position as per the action. That's much appreciated. And also to commend you on being able to provide a position that does now show a surplus, whereas the last time we spoke, there was potential for a deficit. Sorry, I said there wasn't a question. I'm now going to ask a question. It would be interesting just to know anecdotally how you've managed to close that gap that you had a quarter ago.
Thanks for your question, Councillor. Twofold really. So first of all, has been a continued focus on agency reduction. So I mentioned last time round that we have had our neutral vendor that's been able to improve the premium cost associated with agency, but it's also given us much improved oversight and insight into how agency colleagues are being deployed, and that's meant that we've been able to improve the way that rotas are working. And just as an aside, we are launching a new rostering system later on this financial year. March we'll be going live with that, and that will give us even better insight into how our workforce are deployed and will deliver greater efficiencies. The second has been in relation to procurement. So we've been working hard with all of our suppliers to improve the costs that we pay for all of the ancillary and peripheral products that we purchase as well, to improve those cost lines. So they're the two things that have been most significant in bringing us to that position.
Brilliant, thank you.
Any other questions? Your website, is it hosted by, do you pick it back onto Dorset Council? Or?
No, it's separate. Yeah.
So we had an incident recently with another website, Health Authority, I think, which is normally Dorset Council, but it's not. So we're now bringing that back in house essentially. So yeah,
it's a continued challenge, isn't it? I think around cybersecurity.
Basically,
absolutely, and that's what, when we've tendered for the provider around our website, we've been really clear about those sorts of things. And indeed, the board also had an update cybersecurity at our learning day in November, and we have an interim head of digital services that's helping us to advise on all of those sorts of things.
I think I'm right in saying it's the number one risk on our risk register.
Yeah,
it's also counts.
Very prominent in ours too.
I didn't have any other questions, so that probably wraps this one up as well. So, thank you. So we'll move on to the next one, which is urgent items. There aren't any business. There isn't any. So that's it. Thank you. Thank you for attendance.